first match I seen you live was you versus Sam Osborne here in Sydney. And leading into that match, I've known Sam as an absolute beast, and coming to that show, everyone was telling me, like people were telling me, you've got to. This is the match. Istria versus Osborne is the match. Wait till you see Istria. This guy, I mean, like everyone was blowing me up, telling me that how amazing this is going to be, and it didn't disappoint. And I really enjoyed your style, which I think you and Sam, stylistically really meshed very well that night. As far as like for me, I sort of look at your style as very technical. Were you always into technical wrestling? Before you got into the business, was it something that you really enjoyed watching?
As far as the things that I enjoyed before getting into the business, I obviously everyone has their time with WWE and things like that. But what really enamored me was when I started to discover like the '90s junior heavyweight style wrestling in Japan. And that was, the precursor to everything we see today, really. Those guys could do it all as far as grappling, high flying, and things like that. And the move into the pure sort of technical sort of stuff. The best way to sum it up would just be it was just a journey. I was a fan of it always, a fan of guys like Daniel Bryan, but my family is a very sports orientated family. I've had a lot of successful, like my brother was very successful in his sporting conquest. And one of the things he always had was to follow the journey. Don't try to be like someone, but you can try and understand their path as to why they became who they were. And Daniel Bryan had, at this point, he was training Muay Thai, training with the Extreme Couture and things like that. And he was a big inspiration, especially his run in Ring of Honor in the mid 2000s and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just beautiful stuff. Still holds up today. And he was going to Extreme Couture and working on his MMA. And so in between, the very Japanese style training here in South Australia that I was receiving, periodically, and thinking about that, I then went and started doing jiu-jitsu under a gentleman named Chris Foster, and the rest was sort of history. That's what I was spending all my time doing, so it only makes sense to lean into those strengths. And I also feel like it's become a lost art as far as like technical wrestling in the sense of grappling goes. So it just became something where it's just, it was my bliss. It's what I wanted to represent.